chickens.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here as we get ready for race number 26 of Season 2 of the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series. It's finally time to set the field for the 16 drivers that will battle it out in this season's Chase of the Championships, playoffs, postseason, whatever you want to call it. It is. It definitely is. Not only that, Michael. Not only that, but it's also our movie race here today as well. We were supposed to have this at Kentucky, but because I'm lazy and can't paint cars very quickly, we are here doing it at Auto Club, which, like I said, still makes more sense. Well, it really makes more sense because we're in California, and California is the home to Hollywood, so it makes more sense to have the movie race here. But anyway, as you clearly can hear, I'm being joined by Michael Norman, who somehow was able to get the budget high enough here at NNSCRA to bring kitchenware into the booth, and he's making breakfast as we commentate. I don't know why, but hello, Michael. How are you doing?
At least I'm not making pancakes.
It's true, you are not making pancakes. You probably should cook some Andy Fox late model series fries, though.
Yeah, but we don't have any.
Have you ever had fries for breakfast?
They disappeared when Ralph Mason disappeared.
Hey, I've stashed some. Don't tell anybody. Anyway, as we get ready for today's race here, 60 laps of racing at the Auto Club Speedway, and on the pole position is Wyatt Quayle. Now, Michael, we're gonna see if you can get breakfast finished up by the time I finish all these point scenarios, because this is gonna take a little while. So the drivers,
have fun. I'll be over here.
All right. So the drivers that come into this race currently locked into the playoffs. You saw last week when the race was over at Richmond, the drivers that were highlighted in yellow, they come into this race worry-free. No matter where they finish, they will be in the playoffs. They include two-time winners Benjamin Miles, Cody Lamas, Carson Gum, as well as one-time winners Carter Friesen, Jordan Lopez, Matt McIntyre, Ryan Brommer, Ryan Acosta, Carson Gum, and Dylan Young. That's 10 drivers right there that are locked into the playoffs. There are 6 spots still available. Now, Michael Norman, we've been talking about him the last couple of weeks. He's still in the top 30 in points. He's 27th in points coming to this race, 16 points ahead of 30th in the standings cut line. With 2 wins, as long as he stays in the top 30 in the points at the conclusion of today's race, he would get an 11th spot. That leaves 5 spots open now. Right now, those spots would be held by Jesse Turner, Cole Baker, Trey Wright, Levi McIntyre, and Johnny Gardner. Trey Wright and Cole Baker, they can secure themselves playoff spots by finishing top 20 here today. That leaves 3 spots open. Trey Wright, he can clinch himself a playoff spot by finishing in the top 10 here today. And now the big battle is going to be going on between Levi McIntyre and Johnny Gardner, because right now they would be 15th and 16th in the playoff grid. They are both separated overall in the standings by 1 point. So they could be jostling around that 16th playoff spot as this race progresses on. What they need to hope is that there is not a different driver going to victory lane here today, or a driver below them in the points with a win getting his 2nd win of the season. Drivers like that would include Matt Haas, Alexander Rowe, Kyle Matthews, also Wyatt Quayle and Jose Mills, although they need a little bit of help to get up in the top 30 in points as well. But right now, it would basically be Haas, Rowe, and Matthews that they have to worry about. The other thing they have to worry about is another first-time winner going to victory lane that's ahead of them in points. Drivers that would fit that would include Mitchell Collins, Austin LaPlante, Derek Hamill, Jack Mitchell, Sebastian Kukulon, and Seth Cole. Also, there's some drivers behind them in the points that are close enough with a win they could bypass them in the standings, like Keith Batson, Marcus Sachi, Batson, Sachi, and Benny Watson. They are all only 12 points back behind Johnny Gardner, and so they have a shot with a win to be able to get into the playoffs. So, a lot of different scenarios, and if history holds true, I will probably, at the end of this video, say, these are the guys that are locked into the playoffs, and I will probably mess up one of them, and one of them will not make it in, and somebody else will make it in, because apparently the calculator in my head.
That's just what you do.
It's just what I do. It's what I'm known for. You're absolutely right. As we get set for today's race, though, it is the movie race. Wyatt Quayle lines up on the pole. Alongside of him, one of the drivers that's running a mover. Holy cow, I cannot talk. Gotta get the fail counter. That is driving a movie livery here today. That's Matt McIntyre, who's already locked into the playoffs. He's driving the Princess Bride Toyota Camry. I didn't take
No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't take the opportunity to go and take a look at what all these movies entail and everything. So, if you see a movie on one of these cars, and
I
you're
think
like, ooh, that's
if I'm
interesting.
not mistaken, the Princess Bride is kind of like Nightmare Before Christmas, but different. But I also could be wrong.
I have absolutely no idea. All I know is it involves a lot of hugging, kissing, and other violence. But he will start on the outside of the front row, and we've got, I think, about 25 drivers that are running different movie liveries during the course of this race, and we'll try and document all of them and show them off during the course of the 60-lap race. But, Michael, what do you think? Playoff scenario at Auto Club, how aggressive a race are we going to see?
Well, we're going to see typical Auto Club, aggressive, trying to pass every lap. But there's such a wide racetrack, you can make a lot of moves. So they're going to be all over the place, making moves, trying to lead laps.
Not only that, but running the 2019 rules package, which is CTS physics, 60 laps, they will definitely be on pit road multiple times during the course of this race. So who knows? Maybe, fingers crossed, if we have a long green flag run race.
Pepperidge Farm knows.
They do. They definitely know. And they're not going to tell us. But maybe we'll have a fuel strategy race. And, when we have fuel strategy races, more often than not, we have a surprise winner. And we could have a surprise entry into the playoffs at the very last minute. But without further ado, let's go down trackside. Get those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
Gentlemen, start your motors.
Gentlemen, start your movie cameras? I don't know.
Dingle hoppers.
What? The heck is a
You
dingle
better know
hopper?
where that's from, I swear to God.
I don't know what a dingle... Oh, I do know what a dingle hopper is. Never mind. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't have Scuttle on the brain. Anyways, you take a look at the right side of your screen. You can see the starting lineup for today's race. And the drivers that are highlighted in yellow are the aforementioned drivers that come into this race worry-free. They know they will make the playoffs, and a lot of drivers are making the playoffs for the first time in their Duracell Cup Series career. Benjamin Miles, Cody Lamas, Matt McIntyre, Ryan Acosta, as well as Dylan Young, all know that they will take part for the first time in their career in the postseason. All right, Michael, it's time. We got to make some picks
I'm almost
here.
done making breakfast.
We got to make some picks. Who are you going with here in this race? Who do you think's going to shock us?
Shock us? I don't know. I really don't. It's very tough to say. It could be anybody. It could even be this guy up here in the booth with me.
It could be the pace car.
Yep. Him too.
All right, then. Without further ado, off turn 4, pace car dives to pit road. And for the final time in the regular season, green flag's in the air. Let's roll.
I didn't hear much of that call because it's lagging a little bit. All I heard was "Let's roll."
Well, that's all.
When are you
that's
going to
most
update
important.
that ticker?
Why do I need to update the ticker?
It's still showing the old 52 NNSCRA stuff. It's not. That's old.
Well, okay.
You should update it.
Well, I'm not going to update it because, first off, Chris Washer was the one that made this for me, and I don't have a clue how he did it. And number 2, because I'm
We don't know what
nostalgic.
happened to Chris Washer.
I don't know. I've actually seen him on Facebook for a couple of days, but haven't really talked with him. Anyway, out in front right now, Seth Cole in the 25 car, started
Rigged.
third, and right now leading the first lap is
Rigged.
while they're off turn 1. Seth Cole running the Greatest Showman Chevrolet Camaro on his number 25.
I still
Behind
think
him,
it's rigged.
You keep saying that, but it's not true. Right behind him is James Qualls in the number 54. He is one of 2 drivers out of his Joanna Atwood Motorsports team running a Terminator-related car. He's got the Terminator 2 Judgment Day Arnold Schwarzenegger on the hood.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And Qualls did lead that lap. I was waiting to see what the ticker said because I was really close at the line. They're 3 wide behind him. We're going to try going through the field here and show off all these movie cars is down on the bottom of the racetrack there. 3 wide for third place. Ricky Bobby. It's Adam Garcia in the Talladega Nights scheme that Ricky Bobby drove, the Wonder Bread paint scheme. Next up on the top side there, we already showed the Princess Bride Toyota Camry of Matt McIntyre. Oh, caution's out, so we'll have to show off the rest of the schemes in a moment. As the caution's out for the first time today on lap 3. Looks like a wreck going into turn 1.
It's typical for Auto Club.
And it looks like the skid marks went all the way over, almost into turn 2. Someone went for a very long slide.
Let's hope that nobody bottles.
Bottles?
Yeah, I was right. Bottles up. No, I was right.
Oh.
Bottles up.
I thought you were going to say bottoms out, and I was thinking you were going to say bottles out. That's interesting. Austin LaPlante.
You just laughed at me for no reason.
I did. I did laugh at you for no reason. I am a heartless soul. Austin LaPlante.
You have no
the
soul.
Reason for the first caution of the day. LaPlante was one of the drivers with a win that could lock themselves a spot automatically in the playoffs coming into this race. Looks like he's only got left side damage, so he may be able to continue. Carson Gum there, 2-time winner. Can't tell if he might have been involved or not. Carson Gum in the Twister Chevrolet. And pit road is open. And it looks like some drivers will be coming to pit lane. Benny Watson is going to give up 4th to come to pit road under this early yellow.
I'm surprised that Carson went with Twister and not Into the Storm. Into the Storm is a more updated version of Twister.
You know what's an even more updated version? Sharknado.
Don't get me started on that.
So Seth Cole leads the way here under our first caution of the day. Some drivers electing to come to pit road and do some strategy here early on. Let's go back and see what happened to Austin LaPlante over in turn 1. So here's a look at what happened. 4 wide going into turn 1. That's Levi McIntyre on the bottom, Matthew Rodriguez a groove higher, LaPlante in the middle, and Carson Gum up against the wall. And it looks like, yeah, I think LaPlante going into the corner just didn't give Carson Gum a whole lot of room. And like you said, very typical of Auto Club, especially the turn 1 area. And this is why
everybody tries to get in on the high line and tried for like an arc, and sometimes they just run into each other.
This is why LaPlante's skid marks went all the way over to the center of 1 and 2, because Carson Gum pushed him there.
Carson Gum probably like, hey, I don't appreciate that.
I mean, he kind of didn't have much choice, but he also wasn't really on the brakes either. But
Carson, gosh, calm down. There you go.
Well, I mean, he is locked into the playoffs, so I guess he has the opportunity to make a point. Although one thing that I can definitely state for all these drivers that are locked in, one thing they're going to want with a good finish is momentum going into the playoffs, because more often than not, I've seen a lot of drivers, when they do really well in the regular season, all of a sudden they hit a wall when they get to the playoffs. And remember, we got that 3-round elimination system, so that's what brings up...
We got the what new system?
3-round elimination.
Oh.
Anyway.
Sorry, lag.
Okay, we're not Markiplier. Anyway, let's go back for the restart here at Auto Club. Getting ready to go back green here at Auto Club. Lights are still on the pace car, so we'll probably get the 1 to green here next time by. It'll give us the opportunity to be able to look at some more paint schemes in the field. Right now up in the 5th position is Jessica Shelton, or actually no, 6th place rather. She's running the Indiana Jones paint scheme, and this actually has 3 of the Indiana Jones episodes. I can't remember exactly which side of the car each one of these are on. One's on the left, one's on the right side, and the other one's on the hood. Raiders of the Lost Ark, I believe, is on the hood, but I'm not 100% certain. Last Crusade's on one side of the race car, and the Crystal Skull on the other side of the race car. So 3...
Again, I'll reiterate. Episodes? Question mark. I thought they were movies.
Well, they're technically they're like episodes of a series. Shut up.
It's called a trilogy, Seth.
Running in 7th is the number 77. Wow, 777 of Casey Nanico, the rookie driving the Detective Pikachu Toyota Camry. out of Auto Junction Racing. Dylan Young, there are two Avengers Endgame cars in the field today. One of them is Captain America. The other one is Iron Man. So Robert Downey Jr. featured on the hood of Dylan Young's number 2.
Iron Man.
Matt Haas in the number 8. One of 2 cars is actually sponsored by the same movie, Pixels. And he is currently in the 11th position in that entry out of Haas Racing. Remember, he is trying to finish ahead of both Johnny Gardner and Levi McIntyre, so his win this season at Chicago Motor Speedway will count towards the playoffs. And there's the other Pixel car, the 01 of Jack Mitchell. William Brock. That car is covered in denim. I don't know if that gives him a speed advantage with it being very lightweight or not, but he's being sponsored on his number 88 by Smokey and the Bandit, which I actually found out was Burt Reynolds' movie. I didn't realize Burt Reynolds was the main character in that.
Smokey and the Band. I never watched a lot of it myself, but I do know he was a star.
I never watched it, but I knew Burt Reynolds from a lot more older films, and I remember him being a guest star on the Carol Burnett show at one point. Or not, was it Carol Burnett? Yes, it was the Carol Burnett show. Anyway,
well, get ready to go green.
Green flag back in the air here on lap number 8. We're going to drop back and look at some more of these schemes here, just to make sure that they're all going to be able to make their way into turn 1 without wrecking. We should also document with the drivers that were involved in the wreck. Everybody, Carson Gum, Austin LaPlante, they continued on, as well as those other drivers that decided to come to pit road. Adam Garcia going to go out in front, because if you're not first, you're last. I just had to make that reference, I'm sorry. Number 28 of Trey Wright, who with a top 10 run today would be in his first chase for the championship. He's running the Logan Lucky number 28. I don't know what that movie is, but I love the paint scheme nonetheless. And Charles Sanford, California native, trying to win here at his home track. He's running the Secret Life of Pets 03 Chevrolet out of S3 Motorsports. Actually, it's Secret Life of Pets 2, rather.
Hopefully he could win without wrecking any of his teammates.
Yes, exactly. Charles Sanford is one of a few drivers coming to this race that cannot, even with a win, cannot make it into the playoffs. So I think he's just now looking for a win. As Cole Baker, our Daytona 500 winner, right behind him, the Shawshank Redemption Chevrolet on his number 11 out of Backmarker Motorsports. And Great Scott, Ryan Brommer, the Back to the Future DeLorean paint scheme on his number 9.
Good movie.
I actually never watched it, but what's the guy's name? The main character in that.
Who?
In Back to the Future, the guy that says Great Scott.
Christopher Lloyd.
Thank you. I couldn't think of his name. I knew him from a Canadian TV series.
Dr. Emmett Brown, but he's known as Christopher Lloyd.
Yes. Oh, shoot. Sticky keys. Okay. Next up, we got Keith Batson in the number 39, running the Top Gun Ford Fusion, or Mustang. Wow, Fusion. I am old. Next up, we got the Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, number 43. Caution's out again, by the way, of Chris Dollerton. Chris Dollerton, defending champion, will not be able to be a two-time champion. He comes into this race currently in the, if I can bring up the right point standings, he comes into this race currently 37th in points, and he is 24 points out of 30th in the standings. There's no way, even with a win, he'd be able to pass any other former winners from this season. So it's been a very struggling year for him, and you wanted to see it, so I'll show it to you before we go to the replay to find out what happened. There's the number 18 of Michael Norman, the Coneheads Toyota Camry. And right now, Michael Norman's
sponsored. Sponsored by Coneheads. That was a great movie with Dan Aykroyd. Who else was in there? Cusco was in that movie.
You know what was really, really weird for me yesterday? I was painting this paint scheme yesterday, Dan Aykroyd was probably best known for playing in Driving Miss Daisy, and my parents were watching Driving Miss Daisy yesterday while I was painting this car. It was very, very weird.
All right, well, let's go take a look and see what happened.
It's like pit stops are going to take place here as well, as we will go and look at the replay. And it looks like Matthew Rodriguez may have been involved in this one, so second...
Matt Rod, stop messing up my cars.
He's running the Days of Thunder number 57, the Mellow Yellow scheme, and we will...
Two Days of Thunder cars in this, ironically enough.
Yes, there are. There are indeed. We'll see the other one when we come back after taking a look at the replay of our second caution of the day here at Auto Club. So here's a look at what brought out the caution for the second time today. You mentioned about the 2 Days of Thunder cars being in this field. Well, they're both in the same vicinity here. I think both of them
Did he put them in the wall?
No. It was actually, I think that's Johnny Gardner put Matthew Rodriguez up into the wall. Cody
I'm
Lamas
noticing a weird gap right here between...
as well.
Did you notice that gap?
Yep.
The gap between the last, I was just wondering why. I wonder why there was a gap there.
I'm wondering if probably someone. I've been seeing drivers getting the wall off of turn 1, and it might have slowed somebody's momentum down.
So I wonder, does Matt Rod's does the hood flaps on Matt Rod's car say "Oh no"?
I think they do.
I hope we have a special onboard camera with him.
I'm not sure
I want to find out
that or not. Let's see. Do the hood flaps seem? Or well, those are the roof flaps. I don't know if the hood flaps go up or not. Let's see. Do they? Oh, they do. All right. Let's find out.
I'm pretty sure they do.
I'm pretty certain that.
Yeah. See right there.
All right. So roof, and let's see. Do the roof flaps say "Oh no"? I'm pretty sure they do, but we will double check. Oh no! There they are. Oh man, that's what
Matt Rod getting a friendly reminder that he's facing the wrong way.
Yes, just in case he was wondering.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. He was turned around by the 98 of Lightning McQueen, who was taught by Mater to do backwards driving. So maybe that's what Matt Rod thought he was doing. Anyway, let's go back for the restart here at Auto Club.
Here we go.
Going back green here in a few moments, as Adam Garcia's team got it done on pit road. He will restart as the leader. Garcia comes into this race 38th in points, so there's no way he'll be able to make it into the playoffs even if he wins. Right now, the drivers that currently at this point in time look like they would be eliminated from making it into the playoffs, regardless of if they won or not, were Charles Sanford, Jessica Shelton, Matthew Rodriguez, Ryan Butcher, Casey Nanico, Chris Dollerton, Adam Garcia, Vince Almriego, and James Qualls. Qualls is restarting in second place after the pit stops. Seth Cole in third, Cole Baker fourth, Wyatt Quayle in fifth, then it's Marcus Sachi, Carter Friesen, Keith Batson, Kyle Matthews, and Trey Wright. That is your top 10. Lights are out, 1 lap to green. Let's go back and look at some more paint schemes here. There's the second of the Avengers Endgame machines. This one, obviously, people are very familiar with because this is a scheme that Levi's run for most of the season. The only difference between this car and the car that he put in Victory Lane at New Hampshire is it doesn't have the Avengers Endgame logo on the hood. It's just got the Captain America shield to go with the Iron Man mask that's on Dylan Young's hood.
Is there a dirt race in the chase?
In the chase, I believe there is.
Yay, so I have an opportunity.
There, yes. Hey, Michael, do you feel the Force?
No, I don't like Star Wars.
I've never watched Star Wars either. But anyway, that's Jordan Lopez in the number 38, the Star Wars.
I'm sorry if that upset
Mustang.
you. I'm sorry if that upset you, Jordan Lopez, but I really do not like Star Wars.
I've never watched Star Wars, so all I know is I have the high ground, Anakin. That's all I know, and I say that over and over when we play Bonk. Green flag's going to come back out. We'll cycle back in a moment. See the rest of the schemes, hopefully, before we will be able to now then focus our attention on the battle up front for the race lead, as we are now a quarter of the way through this race. Garcia gets us back underway. Qual's going to dive to the inside for the spot. We're going to drop back again. See if we can find the next driver with a movie paint scheme. We already talked about Carson Gunn with the Twister Chevrolet. So we would drop back here to Johnny Gardner, who made the contact with Matthew Rodriguez to bring out the second caution. He's running the other Terminator car out of Joanna Atwood Motorsports, the original Terminator movie. 3 wide back here. There's Benjamin Miles in the 33, two-time winner. He is running the Space Jam Chevrolet. Michael Jordan on one side and Bugs Bunny on the other.
And there's got to be a second Space Jam movie with, what's his name? LeBron James.
I already saw the 78 of Ryan Butcher in the replay of the last caution, but there he is in that number 78 Days of Thunder Toyota Camry.
Cole Trickle machine.
Yep, absolutely. Lightning McQueen struggling here today. Jose Mills, that number 98, the Cars Ford Mustang. I believe he was the one that went up into the wall with Matthew Rodriguez under the last yellow flag. Cody Lamas in the 84, the defending winner of the last 2 races. Last week at Richmond, the week before at Pocono. His first 2 career wins in back-to-back events, and he's driving the Blackhawk down number 84. Obviously struggling here today, but he is locked into the playoffs. And
Your face is locked into the playoff.
I certainly hope it is.
I guess so.
And there is Matthew Rodriguez. We already talked about him in that mellow yellow Days of Thunder scheme, and that is your lot of the drivers that are running movie paint schemes. As we'll move up to the front and focus now.
If you're not running a movie paint scheme in this race, you're a loser.
Yes. Also, if you're not
And I
running
stand by that.
Also, if you're not running a movie paint scheme in this race, then thank you. Otherwise, this video would have been recorded like 2 weeks from now because it would have taken me that long to paint the rest of the paint schemes. Carter Friesen side by side with Cole Baker for the race lead. Baker right now, with where he's running, he would be locked into the playoffs. He needed a top 15, well actually a top 20 run here today in order to get into the playoffs with where he was positioned in points. So right now he has locked himself up a playoff position if he remains there. The other car that needs a good run to lock himself up a spot is Jesse Turner, and right now the Aflac Ford is back in 30th, so Turner needs to pick it up a little bit here, but still a long ways to go as here comes Charles Sanford in the 03.
I got about 41 to go. Stanford's coming up here. Remember, talk about hometown native Charles Sanford. Like I said, he got up to the front, and so far he didn't wreck any of his teammates in doing so.
No, he didn't. And I was going to bring up the point, too, that we've only once here in the Duracell Cup Series had a hometown driver win at their home track. That was last year, Austin LaPlante, New Hampshire. So we'll see if Charles Sanford, after what's been a very struggling
Don't
season
remind
for
me
him,
of that don't remind me of that New Hampshire race.
It was one of your many second-place finishes last year, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was a race where I had it won, but my car decided to go to the inside of lap cars instead of the outside.
Yep. Look at
But
this.
anyways,
Casey Nanico, I think he almost went down to the apron to make that move for the race lead 3 wide. And now
then
it's
it'd be illegal anyways.
It would indeed. Now it's a couple of rookies battling for the top spot, and I don't like the look of this 4 wide going into the corner. Cole Baker put Charles Sanford in the wall, but they all managed to make it through.
When's the next video game race?
Probably never.
Probably never.
Yes. Video game race was at Darlington this year, and I don't think Duracell Cup Series is coming back for a 3rd season.
What a shame. Anyways,
Comes Ryan
back up to the
Brommer up
action
the
here.
inside line there. Brommer looking for his second
Matt
win of the
McIntyre.
season, and Matt Haas saves it, but they wreck further back. And I saw Levi McIntyre collected up in that. And remember, Levi and Johnny Gardner came into this race separated by 1 point, 15th and 16th in the playoff grid. So if Levi can't continue, this could be detrimental if we have another first-time winner this season.
Well, let's just hope that I'm not involved in that either, because I'm only 16 points ahead of the top 30.
Fair point. Very good point.
Who's
Johnny
that?
Gardner
Look
did get
at
through
the
the wreck.
24 car. A 24 car coming up here.
Alexander
Matt
Rowe.
Matt Haas or Matt McIntyre had it, but here he comes now. He's going to take the lead as the caution comes out.
Oh, and they're wrecking further back again. That's Charles Sanford getting spun, I think. And Seth Cole's involved, as well as that's Johnny Gardner.
Cole. Oh boy.
Oh my goodness. So the two
Gardner
drivers,
looks
they could not
Gardner
have a
looks
bad
okay
run.
though. Gardner looks okay though.
There's the 18 of Michael Norman. Looks like he got through all of that without damage. And I'll tell you right now who's licking his chops. That's that 24 car of Alexander Rowe, because he comes into this race in the top 30 in the point standings. And if he won his second race of the season, he would leapfrog either Levi McIntyre or Johnny Gardner and
So then
eliminate one of them,
that
and he'd
race
move
would be
in.
a moot point. Yeah. So then that race would be a moot point after that. But here he comes. He's coming down pit road. And it looks like Matt McIntyre might be staying out.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to pit.
Why is everybody slowing down behind him though?
I'm not sure. Oh, nope, you're right. Nope, Matt is staying out, along with Ryan Brommer. I thought they were going to pit. They looked like they were awfully low on the track.
Strategy, they could wait to come in next time by.
Why not? Both of them are already locked into the playoffs. So
True.
why not try and get yourself another win, get yourself more bonus points when the playoff standings are reformatted? Makes sense.
That's a good point.
So Matt McIntyre is going to be the race leader here. We'll see if he's going to come to pit road maybe on the next lap or not. Cody Lamas going to stay out as well, another two-time winner that's got nothing to lose. So, as pit stops go on here for our third caution of the day, let's go back and see what happened. Here's it brought out the caution for the third time today. Another four-wide situation going into turn one. Watch the 38 of Jordan Lopez crowding Mitchell Collins up there on the top side. And, yep, he's going to get hooked up into the wall. And then Levi McIntyre gets a hit. He goes down into William Brock, who I should actually mention is the defending winner of this race. I failed to mention that earlier.
Look at Carson Gum dive to the inside. He saw that coming.
Yes, he did. Oh, that's a hard hit to the outside wall for William Brock. Completely pancaked the left side. And then further back, Ryan Acosta, I believe Chris Dollerton got a piece, Adam Garcia, and Jesse Turner. It's another driver that at this point was not locked into the playoffs coming into this race. And oh my goodness, Jordan Lopez just clobbered William Brock.
Poor Ricky Bobby.
And then Matthew Rodriguez, Dylan Young, Austin LaPlante.
Whoa.
Oh, LaPlante got a piece of it. LaPlante was in it. I thought they all three made it.
He got that last little bit.
Yep.
He's done. I see the smoke coming out of his car.
He's done. Brock's done. Lopez is done. Lopez, luckily for him, third overall in the point standings. He's already locked into the playoffs, but that's the playoff hopes done for William Brock. Playoff hopes done for Austin LaPlante. And then,
and also Seth Cole, who will never be able to win his own championship.
Well, we're gonna get to what happened to him because that was a wreck coming to the caution. Or actually, it was under caution, and it started, I think, with the 0-3 of Charles Sanford. He's to the inside of Johnny Gardner, and again, just deja vu. One car crowding the other one up into the wall. Are you sleepy? And then Sanford and Gardner in the middle of the track. Seth Cole apparently does not know how to use the brakes.
Nope.
Benjamin Miles got a piece of that as well in the 33. And I think everybody else gets through. Yes, they do.
I think the 14, or is that the 14? Yeah, that's the 14. Gardner, I think he just kind of stopped. I don't think he was actually involved. I think he was just stopping to avoid it.
He got a little bit of rear end damage I can see on that race car.
It could have been from Matt Rod, but
I can definitely tell you he's got less damage than Levi McIntyre does. But we'll have to see if McIntyre is going to be up to speed. So the 14 and the 99, the battle between those two is not over yet. And the bad news for them is that there could be a first-time winner here today and eliminate maybe both of them out of the playoffs. But for now, let's go back for the green flag here at Auto Club. Getting ready to go back green flag racing. Matt McIntyre, Ryan Brommer did not come to pit lane, so apparently they are assuming that was not the last caution we are going to see here today. Cody Lamas is trapped 1 lap down in the 84. I'm not certain if he lost that lap under the last green flag run. He might have pitted, I don't know. But right now, he is the only car 1 lap down in 36th. 4 drivers out of the race: William Brock, Jordan Lopez, Jesse Turner, and Austin LaPlante. I'm going to be very interested to see how this is going to affect Jesse Turner, because he came into this one, I believe, in the 13th seed. And I don't know if he can lose enough points to be dropped out of the playoffs or not. As far as the other former winners this season, he came in 14 points ahead of Cole Baker. He was about 23 points ahead of Trey Wright. And then he had
Cody, another driver that's just happy to be locked in right now, I think is Cody Lamas, as he's a lap down on the inside lane there.
Yep. Turner came in 41 and 42 points respectively over Levi McIntyre and Johnny Gardner. And you can only gain 47 points in this race. Gardner and McIntyre have had their share of trouble, so I think Turner, even with the DNF, I think he's still going to make it into the playoffs.
Oh, interesting.
Matt McIntyre.
Talk about a technicality there, but holy moly.
Yeah, 2 drivers that DNF'd out of that group are going to now, I think, be in the playoffs still. Jordan Lopez, the other one. He came into this race with a huge gap over a number of other former winners. And look at this. I think the 7, is he out of fuel? No, he's not out of fuel, but he was awfully slow in that corner.
He might have just got in the corner too hot on old tires.
Yeah, good point. I think they went, 10 laps on that last green flag run. So, yeah, there may be a lack of grip there with the tire wear. That's a very good point. And we got another wreck.
I
couldn't
Your
tell
name is
who
Wreck.
that was. But the caution is out again, and we're under caution for the 4th time today and haven't even reached the halfway point.
Oh, boy.
Casey Nanico for the lead on Alexander Rowe. Nanico
To the inside.
cannot
Oh,
make
yeah.
the playoffs.
He's definitely going to he's trying to make a statement.
You know what would be really funny?
Coming to the line.
You know what would have been really funny? Is if we had a
What?
side-by-side battle for the lead between William Brock and
Oh,
Casey Nanico at some point in this race. Oh, and they're wrecking again further back. That's, I think, the 8 of Matt Haas.
I figure. I saw that coming. They're 4 wide.
But it would have been really funny if we had Brock and Nanico battle for the lead at one point, because then it would have been Burt Reynolds versus Ryan Reynolds. Anyway. Oh, look at this.
Funny.
Keith Batson.
All right, let's go look and see
ran
what
into
happened.
the back of Seth Cole. What
With
was that
everybody
about?
wrecking. No idea, but I saw Cole Baker.
Yep, I did too. Well, Baker comes into this race in the 14th position overall in the standings. With Turner's hardships today, he might have been able to clinch himself a spot because of that. Batson ran into the back of Seth Cole, and that looked like that was intentional, so there's some tempers flaring there. Though I'm not sure why Keith Batson would do that, because he's 22nd in points. He could have, with a win, put himself in playoffs.
Yeah, Charles Sanford damage on his front end.
Can't tell if anybody else back here was involved in the initial wreck. Oh, Zach Rogers got some damage there on his Green Monster Energy Dodge. His teammate Ryan Brommer's coming to pit road.
He's not
along
even
with
running.
Matt McIntyre.
He's not even running a movie scheme. He deserves to be wrecked.
He technically could be running Monsters Inc. if you think about it.
Nope, he's not though.
Okay. Matt Haas, you can see there, is still in the 7th position. He was the one car that got wrecked coming to the yellow flag, and he's got rear end damage. And that's another driver.
Gonna play a factor.
Yep, that's another driver that's trying to get himself into the playoffs. He needed to finish ahead of Levi McIntyre and Johnny Gardner, and right now he's got Gardner 1 position behind him, but He's got that damage there that will probably affect him as far as his speed. Out in front, though, it's Casey Nanico leading the way. Let's go back and see what brought out yet another yellow flag here at Auto Club. All right, here's what brought out the caution. And again, turn 1, crowding. Keith Batson up into Cole Baker. And the only thing I can assume is we'll be seeing it more in depth in just a moment. We saw, though, a tail end of Keith Batson run to the back of Seth Cole. Well, Cole is a teammate to Cole Baker, and I wonder if Keith Batson was taking out his frustration on the 11 Cars teammate, perhaps. I don't know.
That's I don't know. I don't see why that would be a thing, but you never know nowadays.
But in retrospect, Keith Batson was mathematically, with a win, had a chance to maybe make it into the playoffs, so I don't know why he would damage his car further to make a point of revenge, as here's the incident coming to the caution flag that involved, wow, how ironic, both the Pixel cars. That's Matt Haas and Jack Mitchell. And there you see the contact between those two, and this is, I think, going to collect more drivers than the initial wreck collected up. Let's see. Everybody, for the most part, is going to get by on the inside line, but we know that Seth Cole got involved. Zach Rogers, we know, got a piece. There's Rogers back there. Looks like Zach Rogers might have run to the back of Jessica Shelton when they were all stacking up. Yeah, everybody was...
possible.
It was a stack-up for two reasons. One, it was a stack-up because they had taken the caution, and it was a stack-up because they were all trying to get down to the bottom to avoid the wreck. Seth Cole gets into the back of Ryan Acosta. Charles Sanford gets into the back of Adam Garcia. And yeah, I guess Keith Batson wasn't proving a point. I think he just didn't realize the 25 had just spun out. Was way off the pace. And, Cole Baker's going to come flying into this as well. He's going to run into the back of Matt Haas. And Keith Batson's going to get in the back of Seth Cole. Well then.
A little harder than Baker's impact, but...
Yep. So that is what brings out the caution for the fourth time today. I keep hoping with these single file restarts that maybe we can get into a long green flag run, but they keep going 4 wide, and they do it into turn 1, and hence why we keep getting these yellows. But anyway, we'll try and set what the playoff grid looks like now as we're past the halfway point in this race. Let's go back for the green. So after that last incident, we do have another driver back in the garage area. Keith Batson is effectively taken out of contention for a playoff spot as he will finish the race in 36th position. 35 cars still running, 34 of them on the lead lap. Casey Nanico, the race leader, and we will be going back green with a total of 28 laps to go.
28. Now, how many of those laps can we get to run under green?
I don't know. I'm hoping all 28 if we're lucky. Should talk about a couple drivers up here towards the front that could play last-minute spoilers. One of them, Kyle Matthews, and it's going to be restarting in that 4th position. Matthews comes into this race 31st in points. He was only 2 points behind 30th in the stands. If he could get a second win, he leapfrogs all the drivers ahead of him with 1 win. Also need to document about the 18 of Michael Norman. Another driver trying to stay in the top 30 in points. Right now, he is in the 21st position. And right now, with other drivers that would have been around him in the standings, like William Brock, who's DNF, Charles Sanford, who's got damage, I think right now he's in pretty good shape.
I better be.
Jessica Shelton, another driver behind him in the standings, is just up ahead of him. And Alexander Rowe in the 24 is really the only car he has to worry about, but that would only be 1 position he would lose. Rowe is currently up here in the race lead. So I think right now, with the drivers around him in points, I think Michael Norman is safely into the playoffs with his 2 victories. Now what about Johnny Gardner and Levi McIntyre in that battle that's going on for potentially the last playoff spot? Well, Gardner currently up here inside of the top 10. He last time crossed in 5th. I think he's now around 6th or 7th. Levi McIntyre, on the other hand, I I think he's going to have to hope for a miracle because right now, the 99 is off the pace. He's back in the 29th position. So, if...
Battle for the lead again up in the front.
And they're 5 wide. And they're wrecking. Oh, that's a big one. That is a big, big wreck. And they're still wrecking further up. Kyle Matthews is in that one. Shelton, Qualls, Acosta. And they're plowing. Oh my goodness. There's going to be no one left.
Nope.
Good Lord.
Well, this obviously is not a great choice of Auto Club track.
Benjamin Miles is off the pace. He's got a lot of damage. Trey Wright all mangled up on his machine, and look who got through it all. Well, Michael Norman is definitely making it into the playoffs now. Derek Hamill was the leader at the line. He becomes the 3rd rookie to lead here today. The other 2 were Casey Nanico and Alexander Rowe. And another driver that this really helps out is Johnny Gardner. Oh, actually, I just realized something. If Trey Wright got damage. I don't know how extensive the damage is, but Trey Wright came into this race 17th in points. He was only 22 points ahead of Levi McIntyre, 23 points ahead of Johnny Gardner. If he DNFs, those 2 might bypass him in the point stands, and Trey Wright could be the one who doesn't make it into the postseason.
Oh boy. This would be more dramatic for me if I had seen all the other races before this.
Yeah, probably.
But considering you haven't uploaded them all yet.
I beg your pardon?
Not all of them.
I have uploaded all of them.
You did?
Yes.
Okay, well
Last
then I guess I
race
have
was
seen it.
Richmond,
I guess I
and
have
that went up yesterday.
But I haven't seen that yet, so.
Well, that's not my fault. Kyle Matthews.
Yes, it is. It's all your fault.
Kyle Matthews, who could have made it into the playoffs with a win. Matt Haas, who could have made it into the playoffs with a win, is on pit road. I also saw Mitchell Collins, who is the highest running in the point standings without a victory. If he had won, he'd have locked himself a spot in the playoffs. So it's getting fewer and fewer of the drivers that have scenarios with victories to be able to get into the playoff grid. And look at that, fuel only for the 18 of Michael Norman. He might actually win the battle off pit road, and he will.
Oh, wow.
Interesting strategy call there.
I mean, to avoid the wrecks, you got to be in front of the wrecks, so.
Very, very good point. Get yourself that track position. Question is, though, with the fuel only, did they get it completely full of fuel? Because I don't know if we're in our fuel window yet to be able to make it the rest of the way. We'll be restarting with about 20 laps to go.
Your face is a fuel window.
You know, it could be. It probably only would be about half a lap to a lap, but still, better than nothing. Matt Haas is out of the race, so his playoff hopes gone. That alleviates a little bit of pressure from Levi McIntyre and Johnny Gardner. And I think right now they would not mind seeing Michael Norman win, because I think that would mean both of them would be into the playoffs right now.
I wouldn't mind seeing that either.
I bet you wouldn't. Caution's out for, I think this is the 5th time today. Let's go back and see what happened. Big, big wreck here at the midway point. Well, 4 wide into turn 1, we've established, does not work. So let's try 5 wide, why don't we?
Yeah, I know, right? And I was one of them that made it 5 wide.
Yes, you were. Although you were down in the safe spot. At least you gave room down there. That's
yeah, look
Cody,
at all that room.
That's Cody Lamas, Kyle Matthews making contact down into the 8 of Matt Haas. Now we're going to have to focus on...
Oh, I was in a safe spot? Oh, no, wait, I was in a safe spot?
Looks pretty
see
safe
that
to
8 car
me.
come straight down in front of me?
Well, good point, good point. There's Trey Wright, Mitchell Collins, Benjamin Miles, Chris Daugherty, Marcus Sachi, Benny Watson, Ryan Butcher, Vince Almriego, all in this one.
And it was the 8 car that triggered the wreck in the front.
Yes, it was.
Because he was trying to get back up on the racetrack.
Yep, we'll go back and then look from his angle to see who he swept up in his wreck.
Everybody.
The field.
Who did you wreck in your wreck? The field.
The pace car. The jet dryer. Here's what happened with Matt Haas. He got hooked off the nose of Kyle Matthews, went straight down into... Okay, that's not how you do a slide job. Oh, and look at this. Look who he gets. Kyle Matthews. He sweeps back up into the car that turned him. Oh, my goodness. He went up onto the safer barrier.
Oh, good Lord.
Wow, that is a hard hit. And look at Cody. Cody went up and over. Holy cow, hold on. And he's going to get a shot from Ryan Acosta, too. But, oh, he barrel rolled.
Cody Lama, stop
right there
wrecking
from
my
Benjamin
cars.
Miles.
Cody, stop wrecking my cars, damn it.
And then
That's coming out of your paycheck.
There's Ryan Acosta, nowhere to go. James Qualls gets hooked up into the wall as well. Ryan Acosta kind of made a buffer between Qualls and the wall, so James might be okay. He's got right side damage, and then further back, Vince Almriego
They can
slams
repair
in the
that.
back of the 22. Seth
And like you said,
Cole.
they just kept plowing.
I think that's the second time the 25 car has plowed today.
I think that should be the final time too. I see smoke. You think he's done?
I think he's gonna get parked. That's the second plow. That's a park.
Strike number 2, park.
Charles Sanford, slow there on the back straightaway, but I don't think he got involved in the wreck, even though the kitty cat that was on his hood is gone. The kitty cat got...
Cole Trickle just riding around the racetrack.
Yeah, he almost put Marcus Sachi into the wall there as well. And there's Cole Baker sliding on through, picking up some spots. So that makes his playoff hopes a little bit better, with a number of drivers that are probably going to be retiring out of this race because of this one. Ryan Acosta's already locked into the playoffs, so this DNF's not going to really hurt him. Benjamin Miles is already locked into the playoffs, so this won't hurt him. And right there might be the lucky guy, Levi McIntyre, because Matt Haas being collected up in that wreck takes the pressure off of him, and right now Levi comes into this race live standings. He would be in that 16th spot. He's hoping and praying for a former winner ahead of him in points to go to victory lane, and right now with Michael Norman out in front, that would be the case.
Yeah, it would.
As we got to try and take this break to wake Michael back up. Let's go back for the restart. While the garage area continues to fill up, as now out of the race include the cars of Cody Lamas, Kyle Matthews, that's the end of his playoff hopes. Matt Haas, that's the end of his playoff hopes. I can't talk. Vince Almriego is out. Mitchell Collins is out. Seth Cole is out. Ryan Acosta, 29th, he'll finish, an overheating issue. It's been a long time since I've seen that the reason for a retirement. And with Cody Lamas out of the race, now there are no lap machines. 28 cars still running, and all 28 on the lead lap. Michael Norman.
He was probably just overheating when he retired, so that's probably what it gave him.
Was his car overheating, or was he overheating? That's the question.
Could have been both.
Michael Norman, the leader as we go back green with 20 laps to go. Derek Hamill, Casey Nanico, Carson Gum, and Carter Friesen, your top 5. There's a lot of candidates up here towards the front that Levi McIntyre wants to see win. Norman would be one, Carson Gum would be another, Carter Friesen, because they all are ahead of him in the point standings and have a victory. If they won here today, it would not affect Levi in his chances of making it into the playoff grid.
Look at Carson Gum. Not too long ago, he was involved in a couple of wrecks, and here he is up here in the top 3 battling for the lead.
He was in the first wreck with Austin LaPlante over in turn 1, back on lap 3. And yeah, now battling for the top spot. As a matter of fact, if I recall correctly, I think Carson Gum had a good run here at Auto Club last year. Oh boy. Give room! They do. Yikes. That was close. Wyatt Quayle and Alexander Rowe made contact, but they saved it. I believe Carson Gum actually had a good run here at Auto Club last season, if memory serves me correctly.
I'm paranoid now because I'm in this group.
Nope, he finished 27th. Never mind. He didn't have a good run here. Well, right now, Michael Norman in that 5th position. Now let's find out Oh, we got a car on pit road. That's James Qualls, unscheduled stop for him.
Or maybe it's all part of his plan.
Could be. Oh, look at this. Levi McIntyre, Johnny Gardner. They're in the same group. So the battle is on between those two still.
And the leader of that lap was the 3 of Carson Gum.
And
It's funny how Michael Norman was just battling with Carson, giving that his old car number.
And Levi McIntyre just made the pass on Johnny Gardner, so now Gardner would be back in the 16th spot. Casey Nanico. I think, let's see, the drivers up front right now who could be a last-minute winner that would get into the playoffs. You got the 24 there of Alexander Rowe. Don't think Wyatt Quayle's close enough in points to be it. Well, actually, no, let me look. He is only 18 points back from 30th in the standings, and he's a former winner. So with 2 wins, if he could get in the top 30, he would jump up into the playoffs. So he's a problem, possibly, for McIntyre and Gardner. Derek Hamill in the 31. If he won the race, he is 15th in points. So he would be a last-minute entry into the playoffs.
Let's also not forget one thing. We don't know if all these drivers can make it all the way.
No, we don't. No, we went back green with 20 laps to go. So if we are able to go green the rest of the way, we could definitely maybe see our first green flag pit stops. And the field's really broken up.
Maybe now we'll get that green flag run if none of these drivers up here wreck.
Just maybe. James Qualls is a lap down, but remember, he came to pit road. It's the battle for 10th between Dylan Young and Jose Mills. How about Matthew Rodriguez? What a comeback for him. He was involved in the first 2 cautions of the day, and he's now up in the 12th position.
Yep. Never count yourself out, even if you were in a wreck.
Drop back and see that battle between Gardner and McIntyre. Gardner got back around the 99, so right now it would be McIntyre back in the 16th seed. I think right now it's basically going to come down because Norman looks like he's pretty safely in to the playoffs. He'll be in the top 30 in points. He's inside the top 10 in the running order. I think right now it's going to come down between Gardner and McIntyre, who finishes ahead of who, and whether or not we have a first-time winner or a repeat winner that was behind Gardner and McIntyre in the points.
That's a good point.
That's basically the battle we're looking at now here for this race. And of course, if you look up here in this lead pack of some of these drivers, you got Ryan Brommer, Matt McIntyre, Michael Norman, Carson Gum. They're all former winners. They're trying to win so that way they can get 5 more extra bonus points going into the reformatted playoff standings.
Look at the 01. Isn't that a Pixels car?
Yes, it is. Jack Mitchell there in that 01 machine. Mitchell coming into this race, though, all the way down in the 30. Wait a minute. Hold on. No, whoa, hold on. I didn't even put him into that classification. Mitchell could get into the playoffs with a win. He's 16th in points.
Good job, Seth. Way to just mess up your points.
Well, I'd forgotten Jack Mitchell had a very struggling start to the season, and I remember him trying to get into the top 30 in points. I had forgotten he actually did get back into the top 30 in the standings, so... Yeah, he's surprised
Good
even
job,
me.
Seth.
Talk about being under the radar. Even the commentator doesn't notice.
And people say I do good with my points because I forget. You forget them and you still try to do them. So at least if I don't do them, they can just see at the end of the video.
This is bad news right here for Levi McIntyre. Top 3
Well,
drivers.
if
they
he
won, he would be out.
Rowe. Was that Rowe? Who else is that?
Wyatt Quayle, Derek Hamill.
Yeah, who's the 41?
Wyatt Quayle. If Rowe wins, he's in the top 30 in points. It'd be his second win. If Quayle wins, it'd be his second win, and he would probably move into the top 30 in points. And if Hamill wins, he's ahead of Levi in the standings, and it would be his first win. So all 3 of them would probably leapfrog Levi McIntyre if they went to victory lane.
The battle within the battle. We are approaching 11 laps to go. Don't know about pit stops yet, and we still remain green.
We have no idea what the fuel window is because we've worked 5-6 cautions, I think. Longest green flag run we've had, I think, was 12 laps in length. So we do not know if they can make it the rest of the way. We went back green with 20 laps remaining. How about Matt McIntyre forcing the issue here. Got his first career win at Texas earlier on this season. He's locked into the playoffs and now trying to win here. He's trying to become the third two-time winner out of the Michael Norman Motorsports stable this season.
Yeah, Michael Norman tried to be the first three-time winner. He's just hanging in the back there. I think his tires aren't that great, like you said, because he did take fuel only.
Yeah, I think he took fuel only. I think Jack Mitchell might have taken fuel only as well.
Well, even then, it's got him the track position he needed, so if they do have to make a final pit stop, he could do it again.
I gotta wonder, too, do we look at the 18 car as far as maybe the first one to duck onto pit road just because of the fact that he spent maybe a little less time than everybody else just going with the fuel-only stop? Is he going to be the one that's going to set the precedent of whether they can make it on fuel?
I have no idea. It might be possible. I don't know what the strategy could be. Short pitting doesn't always work out, so
I think we may end up having to deal with something else we haven't seen during the course of this race because we haven't been to a long green flag run. That's right. Miles and Baker in 24th and 25th and 26th. They're only a couple of corners ahead of the race leaders. So they could definitely play a factor into the outcome of this race if indeed these drivers will not have to hit pit road before the checkers, and McIntyre clears for the lead. Talked about Michael Norman, two-time winner up here. You've also got Carson Gum, a two-time winner. They're trying to be three-time winners this season to get the #1 seed in the reformatted playoff points. About over 3 seconds back is where we find 10th place battle. Dylan Young leading that group. So right now there's only 9 drivers up here in the hunt for the win as Carson Gum will go to the point, and he's got his teammate Derek Hamill right behind him. And I don't think
less than 10 laps to go. It's now beginning to really get crunch time.
Yeah, there's no teammates for Cole Baker in this group, but Benjamin Miles is a teammate to the 24, so we'll see if he tries to throw some blocks for Alexander Rowe. Derek Hamill's going to make his way through with the race lead as Carson Gum got trapped behind the 11, and I don't like this. Oh, no. Please. Please. No, don't go for wide. Oh, they got by the 33. We're good.
Michael Norman again trying to look to pick some spots in that mess.
Did I just see someone on pit road?
The 01. I didn't see anybody on pit road.
Nope. It was a pace car. I thought I saw a yellow car on pit road.
Good job.
And I thought it was somebody maybe beginning green flag pit stops, but nope.
Oh, keep an eye on the 01. It looks like I thought maybe it looked like he might be coming.
Jack Mitchell is not coming to pit road this time. They're 3 wide for second. Wyatt Quayle out in front. That's problems for Levi McIntyre because that's a driver that could get in the top 30 in points with a second victory. See if there's any more traffic to deal with. Charles Sanford about a corner ahead. Alexander Rowe, Wyatt Quayle side by side. Right now, Levi McIntyre is the biggest Carson Gum fan there's ever been because if Carson wins, Levi'd be into the playoffs. Right now, Levi
he'd also be maybe a Casey Nanico fan because if Casey wins, it's not like it's going to matter towards the playoffs either.
Exactly. The drivers that Levi wants to see win in this race are Gum, Nanico, Grommer, Norman, and McIntyre. Anybody else in this lead group wins, then Levi will probably be out.
5 laps to go, and nobody's hit pit road yet.
No, they have not.
I wonder if they might actually be good to go on fuel.
They could. I mean, we have no idea just how far they can go because we never were able to get into a long green flag run. We're going to drop back real quickly to the second group. Jose Mills going to take the spot away from Matthew Rodriguez. So, Jose Mills, who came into this race 36th in points, was a 4-time winner last season. He won't be in the playoffs. There's Johnny Gardner. He's currently in the 15th position. So right now he is safe. The guy that's on the bubble spot right there, 21st place running Levi McIntyre. Oh, look at this. Ryan Butcher's pitting from 22nd. I don't know if that's because he's off the pace or if this is the start of pit stops.
You don't know. It might possibly be.
Is anybody from the lead group going to hit pit road? No. 3 laps to go at the line. Let's drop back to the second group. Nobody pits from there. Nobody from the third group. So it may have just been coming to pit road to repair damage for the 78 car. I keep hearing these cars roll out of the throttle going into the corners, though, and I keep wondering, are they coming to pit road? It almost sounds like it, but they don't. They're about to catch the 0-3 of Charles Sanford. Last car on the lead lap in the 23rd position. Coming to 2 laps to go this time, and they are not going to come to pit road. Sanford's on pit road, though. Maybe getting out of the way.
I'm starting to worry now.
Yeah, probably getting out of the way of the leaders.
2 laps of racing to go.
Comes Casey Nanico for the lead on Carson Gum. And then on that inside line, you've got Hamill, Wyatt Quayle, Alexander Rowe, which all spell bad news for Levi McIntyre.
I think Nanico's too far back in points, though, if his win. I don't think his win would count.
No, I'm saying that Hamill, Quayle, and Rowe being on that inside line, if they get by the 77, then that's problems for Levi. They will take the white flag. They were able to make it, apparently. 1 lap to go. Carson Gum on the top side. Casey Nanico on the bottom. Carson's going to get the wall there going into turn 1. Nanico's going to try and clear off of turn 2, but Carson Gum still hangs tough on that outside line. Carson Gum trying to get his 3rd win of the season. Nanico trying to get his 1st. Look at Derek Hamill. Thinking about crossing down 3 wide. Nanico throws the block. Off turn 4 for the final time. Carson Gum battles back on the top side. We may have
the
a
outside line got to
here.
run.
Nanico, Gum. Casey Nanico's going to win. He gets his first career win in the Duracell Cup Series. And Levi McIntyre, I believe with that, is into the playoffs.
It's possible. Won't know until you do the points because you want to be 100% sure, because remember what happened last time.
Well, Casey Nanico, with this victory, was 34th in points. But the issue for him is he came into this one about 70 points behind Levi McIntyre. There's no way he could have gained that many points on the 99 in one race. And if Matt Haas was not able to bypass Levi McIntyre when he came into this one only 12 points back, I think that Levi's got the 16th and final seed. Now, the only question that I would have... No, I think Trey Wright's in as well. I think Trey Wright's locked in as well. He continued on without a hood, but he finished on the lead lap. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the drivers that came into this race in the 16 playoff spots when the race started are going to be in the 16 playoff spots at the conclusion of this race. They managed to hold on. Casey Nanico becomes the 3rd rookie to win this season. We've only got 6 rookies this year, and already they've got 4 total wins here in the regular season. That's the first win of the season as well for the Auto Junction Racing team. He will beat
Auto Junction. It's a heck of a name.
He'll beat Carson Gum to the line by 6 100ths, 9 100ths over Derek Hamill, who could have clinched himself a playoff spot with a win. Same for Wyatt Quayle. He finished in 4th. Same for Jack Mitchell, who finished 5th. Same for Alexander Rowe, who finished 6th. Those 4 will not be in the playoffs, though, because of where they were in points or not having a victory. Ryan Brommer, he'll be in the playoffs. He finishes 7th. Matt McIntyre in 8th. Michael Norman basically just needed a top 15, maybe top 20 run. He brings it home 9th, so Michael Norman with his 2 wins into the playoffs. And Jose Mills, 4-time winner last season, was in the playoffs. This season, he will not take part in the postseason. Talk about rising to occasion. Johnny Gardner came into this race in the 16th seed. He finished in 11th, so he will be in his first postseason battling for the championship. Matthew Rodriguez gets 12th, 13th for Adam Garcia. Dylan Young, he'll be in the playoffs. He finishes 14th. And Jessica Shelton, boy, she missed a lot of wrecks and has managed to finish in the 15th spot. And I think these drivers here I guess they didn't come to pit road. I thought we saw Zach Rogers on pit road. Oh, no, that was Ryan Butcher. My bad. Rogers gets 16th, Watson 17th, Dalton 18th, and Kukulon was the last car to finish on the lead lap in the 19th position. Trey Wright finished in 21st, and Levi McIntyre 22nd. And I do believe that they are both, despite finishing a lap down, they are both going to make it into the playoffs. So, right now, based on the calculations in my head, I'm pretty certain your playoff contenders are going to be, as far as two-time winners, Michael Norman, Benjamin Miles, Cody Lamas, and Carson Gum. As far as one-time winners, Carter Friesen, Jordan Lopez, Matt McIntyre, Ryan Brommer, Ryan Acosta, Zach Rogers, Dylan Young, Jesse Turner, Cole Baker, Trey Wright, Levi McIntyre, and Johnny Gardner.
But he could be wrong.
But I could be wrong. I don't think I am, but I could be. But I'm like 99.8% certain that I am correct in this. But nonetheless, at least we were able to finish out the race with a green flag run. We had 6 cautions in the early portion. We actually managed to finish the race under green. Casey Nanico picking up the victory. Michael, your final thoughts?
It was a hell of a race, and even though there was a lot of caution and drama, it was pretty decent. Auto Club never fails to disappoint, although I do suggest you fixing your Auto Club, maybe picking a different track next time. But it was still a good race.
All right, so that's going to do it here from the Auto Club Speedway. The playoffs begin next week as we will be heading to, I believe...
Where's the first race of the chase at? Come on, you made the schedule.
Coca-Cola Night. We were originally going to go to Chicagoland, but Chicagoland was a Wreckfest last year, so we're going to Coca-Cola Night for our first playoff race.
Watch that turn into a Wreckfest too.
I certainly hope not. Then we go to Charlotte Roval, then Indianapolis. That will be our first elimination race where we will whittle the playoff grid down from 16 to 12. Round 2, we go to Hillside, Lime Rock, and Arizona. We then have our Elite 8 go into Boston, Armory Digital, and Boston. And Rockingham. That is round 3. And then our final 4, of course, go to Homestead Miami Speedway for the season finale. But congratulations to Casey Nanico on the victory here today. Nanico came into this race dead last out of the 6 rookie drivers in the rookie point standing, so this will definitely help him out in trying to get Rookie of the Year. Hope you guys all enjoyed today's race from Auto Club. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. Michael, I hope you enjoyed your breakfast, and anything you want to say before we end the episode off, or the race off. The
episode. Well, just be on the lookout for the Sega Genesis Xfinity Series coming soon to the NNSCRA Sports Channel.
All right, so for Michael and myself, we will see you guys next week at Coca-Cola Speedway for the start of the playoffs, as you've been watching a production of NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.